Hey guys, we're here live for our very first cuddle conversations. We're going to wait a little bit to see who pops on. I'm going to try to pull us up and see if we can see comments along the way. I'm Ajaire and we've got Sheila Ryan here too. Hey Sheila.
Hey
Let me pull this
everybody.
up while we're waiting. See who joins us today. Hey Sheila.
Hey everybody.
I'm going to actually mute.
There we are.
Did it pop up? I know Facebook takes so long sometimes to actually tell people that the live is there.
It
You
popped
found
up
it,
on.
though?
Yep. I think we're good.
There we go. Shannon Fabrics is live.
Yay.
Okay. See who joined people that the live is there.
It's nice when the technology cooperates for us, isn't it?
Well, I see Sheila's watching, which is nice.
And I see Ajaire's watching.
Exactly.
Say hello if you're watching. Say hello and let us know where you're watching from.
Guys.
See where everybody. Oh, I see Lisa Lewick and Reen Wilcoxon also. Hey, y'all. Say hello if you're watching. Illinois and Indiana. So we'll see how far our reach goes today. That's always super fun. This is a new thing for us to do. So Ajaire's going to tell you a little bit about it once we get all set up. But this is going to be super fun. Okay, we got Illinois, Indiana, Idaho. Okay, there we've got another state that's not New Hampshire. Nice.
Man, you're seeing a lot of them.
I think I have it set right so I can see it. Oh, how fun.
Yep, I think so. It's not showing. So maybe you might have to be the comment person, Sheila, because mine's not showing me very well.
Okay. I got you. Salt Lake City, Utah. There we are, stretching across the country. Hi, Susan.
There we go. I see it on the screen.
It's fun to see our fellow Cuddle ambassadors join us.
I'm hoping a bunch of them join us today.
I know we cannot stop talking about Quilting Cuddle and Cuddle in general. So this will be super fun.
Exactly.
Got Kentucky, more Indiana.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. Indiana's already awake. The western half of the country is just getting going. So
I know they're just getting to work, right? We've been up for ages out here on the East Coast so far.
Love it. Love it.
Well, before we get started, I just want to give a brief overview of what this new format's going to be. We're starting to do the third Tuesdays during our Sew Together time, which is 1:30 Eastern. Sheila and I are going to do a Cuddle Conversations show, which is we'll pick a topic. We'll ask you guys to submit questions ahead of time. You're welcome to ask questions during as well. And we're just going to chat with you guys. We're going to chat with each other. And we love to talk about cuddle. So that's what we're going to be doing. And today we're talking about Quilting Cuddle, which is the newest Minky from Shannon. We're really excited. Lots of people have been talking about it already, but we thought we would give you a chance to ask questions because we might have the answers. We should have the answers.
If we don't have the answers, we can find the answers. So I see
we have an inside scoop. So
yeah, we do. And if we don't know it, nobody knows it, then we'll get to work and we'll do some experiments and we will test it and try it out and come up with the answers for you. So
yeah, we will find the answer.
Yeah. Oh, I see Dawn and Mary. Lynn from Texas, Denise from Texas. Okay. Granted, Texas has a lot of people. So I'm glad that y'all are watching with us. More Cuddle ambassadors.
I'm going to try one more time to get in and look. Yes.
Oops. I think we got the.
So I finally got it pulled up. There we go.
Oh, good.
Got it pulled up. Okay, good. Technology, you guys. That's what always trips us up.
At some point, we're going to need some bumper music so we can
get into exactly. Just so we can start out with some fun music.
We'll have to pick
Okay.
a theme song.
I know. I can think of some fun ones.
Oh, Susan's doing some
Okay.
long quilting
So
on.
we're going to be talking about quilting cuddle. Oh, very exciting.
Tech. Yeah, it is. It is also. Hi, Jana. I see you here. I see Pamela from Colorado and Tiffany, Louise.
Very.
Hello. I'm so glad that y'all are joining us. This will be a fun.
Mary's talking about tech being the bane of our existence.
It is. Hi, Christina. Colorado's in the house.
Yay.
I'm in South Texas, and so everybody that's any further north than me, I'm drooling over your weather.
Are you real hot right now?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's not too hot to sew
We've
with
been
cuddle,
freezing.
but
Never, never, never. Well, air conditioning. It's colder inside, right?
that's right. That's right.
We've
So
been rainy and miserable here.
yeah. While you're waiting, go ahead and like this video wherever you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, give it a like, give us some hearts, let us know you're here. And then if you'll share it, then you'll be entered to win a Quilting Cuddle, which is Shannon Fabrics' new fabric line that we'll talk about in a little bit. But we have a fat quarter bundles of it to give away today. So that is super exciting. So share, like, ask a question. If you have a question about Quilting Cuddle, there's, it's just coming out in the world. So it's brand new. Oh, we got Ajaire. Yep, Ajaire popped off. So let's see, there's storms somewhere. Nice. I hope that y'all are staying safe, Christina, in Colorado. Ooh, yikes. Let's see. Louise is here. Louise liked and shared. Thank you, Louise. So we'll wait for Ajaire to pop back on. But this little format, super informal. We have some things that we want to tell you, but really what we want is we want to answer your questions. So if you have questions, whether they're about regular cuddle and quilting with cuddle or sewing with cuddle or making things with cuddle of any sort, please ask those. We want to be we want this to be the place where you can ask your questions in real time. If you are interested about the new Quilting Cuddle, then we hope to share our passion for it and then maybe drive a little bit of wantiness and help you jump on the Quilting Cuddle train with us because it is magical. So great. Okay, Ajaire, do you want to, let's get rolling.
Yeah, let's get going. Sorry, my camera turned off, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. Again, tech, awesome. So anyway, we're going to be doing this the third Tuesday. So we're going to be doing this once a month. So if you do have any topics you'd like us to talk about, feel free to put that in the comments too. We've got some ideas for the next few months. We're still going to be doing our regular sew togethers the second Tuesday of the month, but this is what is going on. My camera is showing. The best. Anyway, so we're still going to be doing those, but this is just in addition to that. So it's an extra way for us to communicate with you guys during the month. So Quilting Cuddle, what is it? Right?
Gorgeous. It is
gorgeous. Right here. This is part of the in the Garden collection. Yeah, we're both meeting in the garden, right?
Yep. This is so, I love it. I have some Wanderlust too.
It's an ultra plush. It's patent pending, so it's very exciting. And it's a minky fabric from Shannon Fabrics. So it is the newest one. It is 1.5 millimeter pile. So it's half the pile length of the C3 that we have. But it's just as soft, shockingly soft. When you hear it's half, you think it's not going to be soft, but it is still super, super yummy and soft.
Y'all, it is crazy. When they told the ambassadors about Quilting Cuddle, we had all kinds of questions. And I think my my question was like, what does it feel like? And so that's what we're going to try to communicate to you until everybody has their hands on it and can feel it in the stores, which is coming soon. But we want to kind of help you understand what it is. So like regular C3 Cuddle Minky, you've got a really dense, smooth, soft, just very touchable. It doesn't, it doesn't shed over time, so it doesn't get threadbare. Sometimes you have a plush fabric where the fibers come out over time or in the wash, and Cuddle does not do that. Cuddle is super stable. So once you've cut it and you've gotten the initial fluff off the edges, that's all of the shedding or loose fibers that you'll have. You won't continue to have fibers pulling out of the back of the fabric. It's just really, really nice. So when we have used other fabrics before, we can Cuddle is at the top of the Minky pile. It's just super luxurious. It doesn't get threadbare. It holds onto its fibers forever and ever. Quilting Cuddle is a little bit different in that it has some qualities that for people that have wanted to quilt, like do patchwork piecing with Cuddle fabrics, they ran into some things. So we had to do some things to kind of make that work and get precise piecing to happen with regular Cuddle. So Quilting Cuddle answers those kind of those questions or those fiddly parts about quilting with Cuddle, and it fixes all of that. Not that there was anything wrong, you can do it, but it's just, it makes that process so much easier because Quilting Cuddle doesn't have the stretch that regular Cuddle has. And because of the thinner pile, we can now get really precise piecing done, like triangles and sharp points and angles, all of those things that we had to work a little bit harder for with regular C3 Cuddle. We don't have to work very hard at all with Quilting Cuddle. Like we can make triangles and we can make diamonds and we can make, all our points match up, and we didn't have to treat the back of the fabric, and we didn't have to worry about, it's just like piecing with quilting cotton. So we're calling it Quilting Cuddle. Quilting, because it has a lot of the same uses that regular quilting cotton does, but it's Cuddle fabric, 100% polyester, easy to care for. We're going to care for it the same way we care for regular Cuddle fabric. Looks like Quilting Cuddle, cotton feels like Cuddle. Yep. That's what Lisa said. Yeah. And Lisa's done a lot of quilting with it. Oh, I see Barbara here from Houston. Hi, Barbara. And is it more like fleece or flannel? Neither. It is not like either. It is a totally different thing. So it's Minky. It's still a Minky product, but it is thin. It's very, very thin. And if you think about, so we have a product called digitally printed Cuddle, and digitally printed, I've got a piece of that right here. Okay. So this is a regular digitally printed Cuddle. It is very thin. This is about a 2.5 millimeter pile. So as you hold up your piece, Quilting Cuddle is 1.5 millimeters, and we're talking millimeters. I mean, so very, very tiny. Okay. So itty bitty width, but watch what Quilting Cuddle. Yeah. So this is regular digitally printed Cuddle. And when I stretch it, I get a lot of stretch. Like I can stretch this only one way. It's a stable knit, so it only stretches across the grain. But Quilting Cuddle, Ajaire, do yours. Stretch yours. It does not stretch, not like this.
You get a little stretch, which actually is helpful because it does help you kind of line things up nicely. So it almost helps you get those sharp points versus just a quilting cotton that's stiff, doesn't go anywhere. This goes just slightly to give you a little bit of give, but nothing like with the digital Cuddle. It doesn't stretch quite as much.
Yeah. And, that's kind of fun. So for quilting, for patchwork piecing, we say quilting, but quilting has all kinds of parts to the quilting process. But for patchwork piecing, getting those precision corners and getting your triangles and your points to show up and to look really nice is really kind of fun. That's like a whole other level of quilting. With C3 and with Luxe Cuddle, we've had some wiggle room because the pile of the fabric kind of hides any mistakes that we made. But for precision piecers, people who love to do that with those points, this is going to be super fun to use because you can get it and then you can see it because the nap, the length of the fibers is not as long as regular C3 Cuddle and Lux Cuddles. So yes, it's a new Minky product. It's patent pending. It is, y'all, it's so cool. We're going to show you some of the projects that some of our ambassadors have made with it. They're watching with us right now, so that'll be super fun. We're going to show off y'all's makes, but we have really loved working with it and kind of pushing the limits of what it can be used for. The neat thing about it too is that you're going to find it in your local quilt store, just like you'll find C3 and Lux Cuddles, but it's going to be on regular size bolts. So the 45-inch wide cottons that your quilt store is full of, and then you go over to the cuddle department, you've got these long, tall bolts that have 60-inch wide cuddle fabric. Quilting Cuddle is 45 inches wide. So it's going to be able to coordinate with your regular cotton quilt pattern. So you won't have to do any math when you're using it for a quilting pattern. You won't have to, it'll come in fat quarter bundles. So you can get a whole coordinated collection really easily, just like you can with a cotton fat quarter bundle. And we're probably going to have some other pre-cuts too, but it's super fun. And it's not just for quilting, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So Ajaire, tell us about some of the aesthetic differences that quilting.
Someone just asked, I think I was cutting out a little bit, so I'm not sure if Sheila already answered it, but someone was asking, is it more like fleece or more like flannel? And it's a Minky, so it's not really like either, but in terms of the thickness, it's more like a flannel. It reminds me a lot of flannel. I think it's going to replace flannel maybe in your quilts. It's just super, super soft. It washes well. Fleece to flannel. I wouldn't necessarily use fleece in a quilt. I would definitely use flannel on a quilt, and I would definitely use Quilting Cuddle in a quilt. So I definitely would say closer to flannel. We've talked a lot about the difference already between C3 and Quilting Cuddle, and I think there's applications for both. C3 is not going away. That's not the intent here. We love our C3 fabric. I had a piece here. I don't know what. Oh, it's sitting in my lap. I just thought it was my blanket. So this is C3, which we all know and love. It's so, so, so soft, right? And it's called C3 because it's the 3mm pile. So again, this one's half of that. This is 1.5. And there's so many great applications for this. Quilt backs are gorgeous in this. It really shows the stitching so nicely. So you could picture putting Quilting Cuddle on the front of your quilt for all those reasons Sheila already talked about. It's super easy to sew with, that doesn't have tons of stretch. And then back it with C3 so you can see all of those gorgeous quilting lines on the back. We also would pair it with Lux. I mean, Lux is gorgeous for a back, but if you want to be able to see, like Sheila, hold that up again. If you want to be able to see the beautiful stitching, C3 is perfect for that. So I can see them pairing together really nicely, maybe even then binding with the Lux. So you'd have the C3 on the back, Quilting Cuddle pieced together on the front, and then Lux binding. I just feel like that's like perfect match. Other applications for this, I feel like it's, I do a lot of bags, whether it's backpacks. I mean, I did my Daybreak belt bag here a while ago. And that I did super luxe and fun things with, but I pictured just gorgeous, elegant, like handbags. I think it's going to be perfect for that. In fact, we did, a few of the ambassadors did make some, and we do have a picture that we can show. I don't know, Adriana, do you want to throw that picture up now? The gorgeous one.
There it is.
Yes. So this is made by one of our ambassadors, and just look how elegant it looks. It was machine embroidered. So it combined machine embroidery with the Quilting Cuddle, but it's all Quilting Cuddle. There's some stabilizer in there, like you can use a soft and stable, or you could use a fusible fleece. You could always use SF101 too. It's perfectly fine to fuse those kind of fabrics on the Quilting Cuddle. Just use low setting iron press. Don't iron back and forth. But just think about bags, especially. I think that's going to be a great product for. And then we also, yeah, so this was done by Dawn. We had a few bags that you probably have seen around, posted on the internet, but this one by Dawn, I just thought really elegant. I could definitely see bringing that to out for a really nice evening.
Yeah,
And we
and that,
also looked at, sorry, Show.
no, that bag is just gorgeous in person. And
I was
you
gonna
know,
say, did you see that in person?
yeah,
Yeah.
we took it to H&H, and
Mm,
it was just so fun. I mean, we love having a cuddle thing, like an animal or a blanket or something on our lap. But like when it's your bag, then you have like all of the tactile um, effects of getting to hold something with cuddle, but it's your purse. So it's not weird if you're just hanging onto your purse because you need a little
yeah,
touch, soft touch just to kind of help you out and about. So I use
exactly.
cuddle as my emotional support fabric.
Always, right? Always.
I see another question that's actually really great. It's does it shrink? So no,
Oh,
it doesn't shrink because
nope.
it's 100% polyester. So in the same way that cuddle fabric, C3 digital printed cuddle, the Luxe cuddles, they're all made from 100% polyester. So quilting cuddle is also made from 100% polyester, and it does not shrink, which is amazing. So
Yes.
when you're making a quilt, um, you're going to get what you sew with is what you're going to have after it's laundered and washed. So, and we have some more questions on this that we've looked people asked ahead of time, but spoiler alert. When you're using a batting with it, if you're making a quilt, so you're using Quilting Cuddle for the piecing and for the back, and you want to use a batting, you're going to use a polyester batting. So that way, polyester thread, polyester batting, polyester fabric, it's all polyester. So it's very easy to take care of, and it's very, very durable. So Louise asked, does it have a grain that
Yeah.
moves or not? That's a good
So I'm not,
question, Louise.
yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it really does. I mean, there's no there's no bias stretch really. There's just that little bit this way. There's the instead of grain with the cuddle, I really like to think of nap direction because the nap direction is super important. We always talk about nap with cuddle no matter what. We want everything to kind of pet. We always say pet down if you're putting your blanket on you. You want everything, the naps to go the same way. Well, with quilting cuddle, it's just as important, but I feel like it might even be more important because it is the lower pile, and I've noticed that it shows like visually you can see the some of the darker ones, Sheila. I don't have the berry with me, but in some of the darker ones, you can really see from a distance if you had the grains going in the different sorry, the nap going in the different direction. Similar to like if you use velvet or corduroy, those kind of things where you always had to pay attention to nap. Like, you understand why until you put two together that were going the opposite way, and then all of a sudden you could see the difference across the room. It's
Right.
kind of like that where you really want to make sure those naps are going the same way because not just for feeling, but for visual. Like
Visual.
unless you want that effect, because that is kind of a cool effect too to have them go the different way. But
Yeah.
so instead of grain, I really would focus more on that nap direction with these.
So you can kind of see how when I pet the solid, you can see it better on the solid
Uh-huh.
pieces rather than on the printed pieces because we get the effect of the light. So this is my nap going downwards. And then when I rub backwards, I kind of get some little tiger stripes or ruffles. And I get like a little bit of texture because it changes how the light hits it. We're always doing this with our cuddle. We're always
And
patting
we're
it.
always petting, right?
We can pat it and make it smooth and make it all go down. I did not. I had a little rough bumple there.
I know.
Bumple?
There you can kind of see that. This is the
Okay.
juniper color. It's not showing perfectly on camera, but you can see. So I rubbed my hand down it, and you can definitely see that if we had two pieces together that were going in a different direction, it would be more visually seen. And you can see it with things like see-through, but it's just different. I just think it's going to be really important to keep naps going the same direction. Yeah, see that with the darker color like that. Yeah.
You can really see it on that blue. Um, and you
Oh,
know what?
Louise said that that's what she meant is the nap. So she's like, "Thanks for
Yeah,
explaining it." But yes, so good. I'm glad we we figured that out.
good. I
I am
mean,
just while we're talking about nap, I'm working on some piecing, which is really exciting because it's so nicely with that quilting cuddle. I mean, we're getting sharp points, super not fiddly, easy to work with. I am pressing. Some people say don't press it. I've been pressing it just fine, and it's really looking nice and sharp. But I've figured out a way to easily remember to keep the naps in the same direction, no matter which way you are stitching. So that's going to be a class that we're going to be having. Once everybody's got the fabric in the stores, we're going to start teaching some classes with Quilting Cuddle. So I'm super excited to get the word out about the foundation paper piecing and our little trick for keeping the naps in the same direction. So thanks for asking that question, Louise.
Yeah. Ms. Jackson asks, does it cut differently than a quilting cotton? Any specific hints when cutting it?
Well, I mean, I think it's just the same as we say for other cuddles. We can use the blade, you can use the rotary cutter. There is such a low pile on it that naturally it's going to have less cuddle fluff because there's less of it on there. So I have been using the rotary cutter and it's negligible. I mean, the mess is hardly anything. And then just like our other cuddle fabrics, it's a knit fabric backing that doesn't fray. And once you get the initial dust off, you can leave those raw edges and no further is going to come off. So you can do all the tricks that we've done in the past with, using the vacuum to kind of suck the edge and none will be check it down low. That's what I've been doing mostly with this, and it's made hardly any mess on the floor. That's how I know it's a lot less mess. But yeah, I don't say this. I wouldn't. You could cut it exactly the same way as a quilting cotton, except I would cut it from the back. I prefer cutting from the back versus the front. But otherwise, I've been using my ruler, my big ruler and rotary cutter, and just hacking away the same way I would with cotton. What about you, Sheila? Have you experienced anything different?
No, not at all. And in fact, so you cut from the back. I like to cut from the front because what I've done with it a little bit is a little bit of fussy cutting because we've got some really nice visual effects with the prints that they put together. And y'all, it's coming out in collections. So let me just say that I love this aspect of Quilting Cuddle because in the past, Shannon Fabrics has come out with a line of solids, and we have so many solid colors, and then prints. And what we do is we kind of match the prints to the solids to make something that we want to make. Well, Quilting Cuddle comes in collections. So just like when a new line of cotton fabric comes out in a collection, and then you have a series of coordinated prints, Quilting Cuddle is going to be like that. So each collection is going to have prints and solids. So this is a collection right here that Lisa Lewick, one of our other Cuddle ambassadors, put together. And this is the Wanderlust collection in blue. There's the same prints are in a different colorway. So it's pink.
Like a pinkish, pinks.
Yeah. And so those are two collections. This purple one, this is purple and greens and very floral, is Meet Me in the Garden. There are two other collections that are coming out all at the same time. When all of these arrive, they're all coming together, and they're very traditional floral, like floral polka dots, ginghams, all together in those collections. One's red and white, and the other is kind of peach and green. And so they're just beautiful. I mean, they're absolutely show-stopping fabrics on their own, just the designs. But because they come in collections, you can do more with it. So this Meet Me in the Garden one, Ajaire was holding up some of the lighter colors. I feel like each collection can kind of go two ways. It can go to a very elegant, adult type vibe, or it can go more towards like a baby nursery. There's lots of things that you can do when you pull different parts of the collection out. So it's really super versatile. So maybe you like making baby blankets, and so there's some very sweet prints, but that doesn't mean that you can't use them in the those projects. So like for your own personal bag, if you like to wear bold and bright and just lots of texture and lots of color, absolutely, you totally can with Quilting Cuddle. The other thing, I saw another question, and somebody asked, do you sew with it the same way? Do you double pin? What are we doing for sewing? And we're doing some of those same rules that we had kind of set out for for sewing with regular cuddle fabric, yeah, I'm going to use a 9014 stretch needle because it's a knit polyester fabric. So, and I did try with a smaller needle. It's still, it's thicker than cotton, quilting cotton, for sure. So you want the strength of a 9014 needle. If you don't use that size needle, you might get skip stitches. If your needle is a sharp and not a ballpoint, you also might get skip stitches. So we're going to say to use the same 9014 ballpoint needle. And yeah, we're going to double pin because we like control. But I will say that we've done some experimenting, and you might not have to double pin as much, but you still want to control the fabric because of the nap of the cuddle. So the nap is the pile. So we still have fibers that are sticking up above the surface. So even though they're shorter, they're still going to try to push against each other. And so we want to control any slippage. So I'm going to pin, or I'm going to clip, or I'm like all the ways that I can control it. I was serging yesterday, and so I was writing down my serging process so I could get this one effect that I wanted. When I start serging, I'm going to put the fabric right under the needle and put my needle down first so that I have a good starting. So I'm controlling the fabric at the very beginning by putting the needle down before I start going. So it's just a way to keep control of the fabric because it's a minky, and we're going to still, we're in control. We don't ever let our fabric get away from us. Like, we are the ones that tell it what to do. So I saw somebody else asked a question. Maybe it's not, maybe it kind of got away from me, but it was about like when you start to sew and you've matched everything up and you're sewing with cuddle and you get to the end and you've got one piece that's longer than the other. Where did that question go? I saw it.
I remember that. I remember it too.
Yeah. Well, so that is the way to prevent that from happening. It could happen with Quilting Cuddle, and it can happen with regular cuddle. Yeah. We'll do the double pinning. So keeping control of your fabric the whole length of the seam is a really good practice. So adding 2 lines of pins. If you're serging, maybe you add 1 line of pins and it's a little bit further in because you never want to serge up close to a pin at all, ever.
With the serging, we've been pinning sort of diagonal on the edge and then the second row. So when we're doing that diagonal, we can get a little bit closer without fear of hitting the knife. And so you don't ever want to get near the knife with a pin, but you're able to kind of have it controlled with the extra row on the other side and then get through. But pinning at the diagonal on the edge has worked really well for the serging.
Yeah, that's perfect. The other thing too is that we also loosen the presser foot pressure a bit when we're sewing with regular cuddle or C3 cuddle. I'm loosening the presser foot pressure. So look in your manual and see, look in the index in the back and see how to adjust the presser foot pressure. That's how much the presser foot is pushing down on the fabric as it goes underneath the presser foot and the feed dogs at the bottom. So if it's pressing really hard, it's going to kind of push one layer when we've got something bulky like this. It's going to kind of push them. And so you will get more at the end. Like, you'll have more fabric at the end of it than you did at the beginning because the top layer has stretched a little bit. If you loosen the presser foot pressure, it's not pushing on the fabric so much. So it helps it feed more evenly all the way through. A walking foot also will help. But if you're using a walking foot and you're still getting that effect where you have too much on one of the links at the end, try loosening the presser foot pressure. On both my serger and my sewing machine, they're loosened all the way. They're all the way up. So I have very little pressure on either of those. And that works great. And sometimes I forget and I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And I'm like, oh yeah, presser foot pressure. I sew with cuddle every day and I still sometimes forget. So we have a tip sheet though, that'll help remember. And so a little bit, Adriana can throw the link to that tip sheet so that when you get your Quilting Cuddle, you're ready. You have all the information that you'll need to get sewing with it. So let's see.
Yeah.
Ajaire,
Someone was asking when it's getting,
oh,
well, someone was asking when it's going to be available. So we did throw on the screen that it's late July, early August, hopefully. And get your shop to pre-order it or order it. One of the cool things is in most of these collections, we're going to have like a 5-in-1 panel. So across the width of the fabric, it'll have a stripe of like 5 of different in the collection. So it's a really great way to get a small bit of each of the pieces, well, not each of them, but 5 of the pieces in the collection. So I thought that was a really fun thing that we haven't done with other cuddles. We haven't done that with other, even the digital cuddles we haven't done it with. So I thought it was kind of exciting that with Quilting Cuddle, you can kind of get some yardage of each, but just with one 45 inch wide cut. So request these from your local shops. I mean, a ton have already been ordered. They're coming to your quilt shops. They're going to be here. Everyone's really excited, and more collections are coming, and it's just like a snowball. It's all happening. But we can't wait for you guys to get it again. So it is supposed to be July, August in the shops, and of course, once it hits the shops, you'll be hearing from the owners. Like it'll be happening. Did we want to show serging on it really quick?
yeah, let's
Wanna do that? Someone had asked previously, can you show how easy it is to serge with it? So I was just going to throw it through the serger really quick. It's behind me. I'll bring it back and I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's fast.
It is fast. I mean, and serging has been one of those things that we've been developing some classes on. So if you have a serger and you haven't used it with Cuddle, just y'all buckle up because this is fun. So Ajaire, show us what you.
So I just threw it through the L860 from Bernina. We love these sergers, but I didn't even pin it, you guys. And you can see even without pinning the top, well, you're seeing the serger fluff there, but the top edges are pretty close together. That's the top edge, and they're pretty close together. And I didn't even pin it. So you saw me, I just threw that through, didn't even put a pin in or clip or anything, and it just sucked it right through. Again, same thing like Sheila said, the foot pressure is down to, I think they call it 1 with a Bernina, the lowest setting, and it just sails right through. And the nice thing about when you serge it, everything from these Bernina L8 series, any little fluff that comes off the edge from the cutting knife goes right into the little catching tray, and there's no extra mess. In fact, I wasn't even cutting off the edge there, but I had the knife down. But so any little extra goes right into the bin. So I found there's even less mess than when you're doing regular Cuddle.
Yeah, I do. I love serging on it. And one of the things that I've been playing with is not only just serging Quilting Cuddle or regular Cuddle. I mean, I've been doing all kinds of serging Cuddle things, but the serger actually controls a lot of the Cuddle dust for us.
Dust.
Gravity just makes it fall into the, the little cup, and then it's not all over. So when I'm using my sewing machine and I haven't given it a good shake, I end up with Cuddle dust down under my machine, and that's always a place. It's like cleaning under the toaster. Who wants to do that, right? But with the serger,
we always say, oh, get rid of the Cuddle dust before you start to sew, and all you do is shake it off, and all you do is, but then we get lazy too, and we just snip something right there with the sewing machine. So you've got the little dust, and we all do it. So but the serging is awesome because you can just serge right through it, and there's no dust. It just goes into the little capture tray thing. So I've been very impressed with it.
You know what? Something else that's fun. So we talk about quilting with Quilting Cuddle. It's not just for quilting though. So we showed you a picture of a bag, but Quilting Cuddle is very, very wearable. And so I can't wait to make some garments. So I have this little wrap that Lisa Lewick made out of the Quilting Cuddle, but it is going, when there is more in the world, we've been working with like the smallest pieces, y'all. So when we actually have yardage, I cannot wait to make some, like I have in my head a beautiful jacket to make out of Quilting Cuddle. And so I'm super excited about it because it'll have all of the beauty of a beautiful velvet, but it's polyester, so it's easy to take care of. So
Yep.
in my life with kids, I don't have to worry about a fabric that's not washable to make something out of. So it's going to be, it's just super great. And stuffed animals,
Yes.
so with that tiny bit of stretch, you can still curve around the pieces so you get that dimension. And also you can get some details. So one of the things that one of our ambassadors made was a raindrop ragdoll bunny from Rustic Horseshoe out of the Quilting Cuddle. And it was so sweet. It was just absolutely adorable because it, you can see details in it in a way that you can't with some of the longer pile cuddle fabrics. So if you have held off on making stuffed animal projects because you wanted to see those details, Quilting Cuddle is going to be great for that. So,
This is this lady is made out of, she's all luxe, so it's luxe everywhere, different lengths. But what's nice about the Quilting Cuddle is this is super fun, and she's so soft and lovely. But the Quilting Cuddle almost reminds me of more of like Binky Baby kind of thing, where it's just that smooth. It's just a different pile, like, but it's still so nice. And again, like Sheila was saying, that little bit of stretch helps you when you're actually putting it all together.
Yeah. Maria asked, how does the backside feel against your skin? And I'm going to show you the backside. So this is where you get the inside scoop, guys, here on Cuddle Conversations. So here's the backside of a table runner that I'm working on. Okay. So it's been serged. I have serged seams here. It's very smooth. And so it's not irritating. I have texture issues. And so I'm always crabby about seams and stuff. And I do not find that it is irritating. This is another little piece that I did some flat lock serging on. And so my seams are super flat and they're not irritating at all. Let me show you on the pieced sample that I have here. So here is the back. Now you see, I'm trusting you guys. Y'all are seeing the inside of my piecing. You can see that the seam allowances just fall open. So I'm not, worried about, you can press it. So if you want to press your seams open, or if you want to press them to one side or another, you can. But I didn't have to really work very hard to get my seams to fall open. They just did. And it feels great. Like, we have all different prints of it to work with. And the back side is nice and smooth. It's not irritating. And I'm saying that as a person that's highly irritable.
I just want to hold it up because the blue color, the greenish color is C3 and the white is the Quilting Cuddle, and it really feels the same. So if you have any C3, the backing feels the same. Now you can feel a thickness in the C3 when you rub it, but it feels pretty much the same. They're just very soft on the back, not scratchy, none of that stuff.
Yeah, it's just it's very, for being as short of a fiber as it is on the Quilting Cuddle, it's a very dense fabric, but it's not thick and heavy. It sounds so weird to say it like that, but sometimes when you get a fabric that has, I'm like even thinking of velvet. Okay, so you have a nice silk velvet and you fold it, then you're gonna see the backing through those folds. There's so many fibers here, like I can see, and this is strike. So this isn't the finished quality fabric. This is one of the strike offs. That's what we were playing with. Like they were like, test this out, see if you like this. And so they sent that us to play with. But I can see the bottom of the fibers here, but there's so much fabric that I'm not really getting down to the backing. So I don't have.
Well, and the nice thing is with the solids, they're solid all the way through. Yeah. So with the solids, you get absolutely none of that too. And and did we mention that new solids are coming with all the collections?
Yeah.
So we are building out the solids. So right now we've only got a few because we only have one collection that's been released. But each time a collection is being released, we're adding some solids to go with it. So we're building up to go solids. So I'm very, very excited about that. And if you're already familiar with the C3 products, they're going to, if it matches one of our existing colors, they'll name it the same color. So you'll know that they should match really well. If it's a new color that it's not an exact match, it's, different in some way or filling a hole that maybe C3 has, there'll be a different name. So that's something to look out for, that if there's your favorite color of C3, it may come out in the Quilting Cuddle. So, again, comment if there's specific ones you're dying for, because as these collections release, we'll get more and more of those solid colors.
Audrey asked if pressing is tricky due to being polyester, less heat. It's not tricky. So it is polyester fabric, so you want to use like the medium setting on your iron, but it presses beautifully. And so if you are the kind of quilter, you can tell I'm not that kind of quilter, but if you're the kind of quilter that loves to go to the iron after every seam, and then you like to press, and then you like to use a tailor's clapper to absorb the heat and get that super flat.
That's me. That's me. I've done way too many garments. I'm like mostly a garment sewer, and I have done way too many like jackets and all that stuff through the years that I'm obsessed with pressing. I press everything. Use my tailor's clapper. So you can be either Sheila or I on either end of the spectrum and be just fine. Like it works either way is fine. Just you don't want to go super high heat. You don't want to go crazy.
Right.
And I also use a pressing cloth. I take like an old sheet and cut it up, and then I'd use those as pressing cloths. So I put something between it. I don't know that you have to, but I have. And it's just presses like a dream.
It really does. And I see somebody from Instagram asked, do you use 1/4 inch piecing? Yeah, 1/4 inch piecing. In fact, so this is a 1/4 inch seam. That's one of the fun things about the Quilting Cuddle is that we can use 1/4 inch seams. So all of our quilt patterns that call for 1/4 inch seams, here we are. With regular C3, we've advised to use like
your 1/4 inch seam. Finally,
1/4 inch seams. And honestly, I was doing
excited.
I was doing some paper piecing, so I was trying to reduce as much bulk as I could, and I was trimming it down even less than 1/4 inch. So, and because it's a thicker fabric, I'm not worried about it pulling apart. So I feel like it's got some advantages over quilting cottons that y'all might have fun with. So it's just so fun. And long arm quilting. So Susan says,
Susan's here, yeah.
So let's talk about the quilting aspect of it, because we have some gorgeous quilts that we wanted to show you. Ajaire, Adriana, do you mind showing us, show us the green triangle quilt with the 2 colors of.
Oh yeah, that was gorgeous.
Yeah. Reen Wilcoxon made it. Okay. So this is a quilt that Reen Wilcoxon, one of our Cuddle ambassadors, she also is Embroidery Garden. If y'all are machine embroidery people, that name will be familiar to you. She put this together, half square triangles, okay, and then sashed it with Luxe Cuddle, so you can see the strips between each half square triangle block.
I mean, that combo is so gorgeous. I mean, just look how pretty that looks, you guys.
And that shows a lot of the colors and patterns in the Meet Me in the Garden line. But then, so after she got it all pieced, she put the batting and then the backing on, and then did each block as a machine embroidery quilted, like she quilted it in the hoop on her embroidery machine. So that square is quilted on the embroidery machine. And that's a whole super fun technique, but that's the effect that you get. You can see how the quilting shows up beautifully, just like on Cuddle, but it shows up great on the Quilting Cuddle as well. So this was just a gorgeous project, and there is nothing.
I love mixing it with the Luxe Cuddle, because I feel like it just gives it so much definition, and it makes you just want to reach out and touch it. I mean, it's so nice with Luxe Cuddle with those sashing. I think that's so pretty.
It is. And for those of you that love all of the textures that are part of the whole Cuddle family, this is one more texture or depth of fabric that you'll be able to play with and do some really fun things. So you've got the 1.5 millimeter Quilting Cuddle now. You've got C3, and you've got the Luxe Cuddles that start at 10 millimeters and go all the way up to 40 millimeter fluff. I mean, you can do some fabulous things by mixing and matching all of those too. So this is another quilt that Lisa Lewick put together. The pattern is by Jaybird Quilts, and maybe Lisa, I'm trying to remember the name of the pattern. Is flipped out of my head for a second.
I can't remember what it was.
She used the 2 Wanderlust lines, so you can see the lighter at the top, or the pink and orange at the top
Mhm.
and then the blue at the bottom. And these are 60-degree triangles. So they're basically triangles arranged in hexagons. And then she's got the
Mhm.
solids, kind of like a falling leaf effect in there. But oh my gosh, you can see the texture on the side, the side view where we kind of tried to catch the light from the quilting. Lisa's fabulous long arm quilter. Splash. Thank you, Lisa. The name of the pattern is Splash. Oh, okay. So splashing. I can see the effect of that.
Oh yeah.
But she used
Yeah. Mhm.
some regular Lux Cuddle for the border and backing of it. And one other question I saw flip by was about using batting. So yeah, we use batting in these quilts just like we would with a cotton quilt. And all of the things that you know how to do with quilting can be done with Quilting Cuddle. So you can use a batting or not. You can use, if you use a batting, you're going to have a little bit of, you'll have a little bit of heft, you'll have thickness and it'll
Yeah.
kind of stand up on its own.
It gives
When
some
you do,
definition, like it gives some little bit like it's nice. It's nice with the
yeah,
quilting.
when you don't use
Quilters do.
batting, you've got Quilting Cuddle on the front and the back. You've
Mhm.
got a lot of drape, and so it's very pliable and malleable, and so it can conform, like it's very huggable. Not that it,
Yeah, I think it's like nice to like snuggle with that on the couch. Like it just sort of drapes all over you. It's like a nice throw. But then there's something about the weight of the one with the batting that's nice too. So you can go either way, whatever's your preference.
yeah. Christina asked if we could make plushies with the Quilting
Mhm.
Cuddle, and yeah, you can absolutely. And then somebody else asked, what is the batting to use if you do,
Oh, yeah.
and is it required to use? That's a great question. With quilting with cuddle of any kind, we like to use a polyester batting, and
Mhm.
our favorite is Quilter's Dream Poly. Request is the thinnest
Mhm.
Quilter's Dream Poly. So
Yeah.
Quilter's Dream Poly has different thicknesses. Request is the thinnest one. So you can see that's the aqua and yellow package.
Mhm.
Their packages are color coded. So that's the one that we like to use with that. And you can get that in the same places that you get your Quilting Cuddle. So it'll be at your local quilt shop.
Terry says she's anxious for Quilting Cuddle to be in stores, and
Yeah.
we all are. We're very excited. I can't wait for that second collection, which you just saw that peek of from the Lisa's quilt there, that Wanderlust. Both of those colorways, I can't wait to have all of it in my hands. I love Wanderlust so much. I'm just dying for it.
It's going to be gorgeous. I mean, and you know what? Patricia said it would work great for t-shirt
Yes.
because the thickness is about the same.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Those nice, the nice t-shirts, the Comfort Colors ones. It's about that thickness. Okay, it's not a stretchy and it, wiggly as a jersey, but
Yeah,
that
that'd be
is
great.
that is a great comparison to it. Whenever I make a blanket, no matter how careful I am, I always seem to have excess material on one side or the other. I swear I don't have it till
Oh,
I.
that's the one.
That's where it was. Okay, I do use a walking foot and I do double pin. So this is great. Ajaire, how do you address this if it happens?
All right. So what I do is as we go. So I like this binding stiletto or any kind of stiletto that you have. I feel like depending on the machine, depending on the walking foot or the AccuFeed system, whatever you're using, um, it helps, but it may not be helping as much as you can help it along. You can kind of help that top fabric match the how it's going through with the bottom. So you would just sort of this is sandblasted at the tip, so it really catches the fabric if you want it to, and so you can just help guide it through, and then every once in a while stopping with the needle down, kind of lifting, like lift the presser foot, kind of lift up that fabric, make sure nothing's dragging on the ground, always kind of like lift it up. I always think of like getting air underneath. You want everything to be light and airy as it's going through the machine. So even if you're not doing a big throw, you don't want to have stuff hanging down and pulling. You kind of lift it up, then put the presser foot back down and continue. If you see it starting to bunch up a little bit, lift the presser foot with that needle down, use the stiletto. I mean, you just kind of ease it through. Some machines are going to be tougher than others. Sometimes you're going to have to use some of these extra tricks. For some machines, just adding the walking foot is enough, and lowering the press of foot pressure. And so it's really going to be specific to your machine. Your machine may just be a little bit more fiddly with it, but keep trying. And the double pinning, one thing I will say, I taught a class recently where people were double pinning, and they were double pinning almost too far away. So that second row of pins, they were so worried about going outside of where the press that they were going twice the distance to, and that fabric has a chance to slip. So you want to, put those pins as close as you can where they're not getting hit by the foot, because that really, really does help you. That helps keep everything in place from slipping.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd add, Sheila?
No, I mean, all the same things. And the name of the game is control. And so we're in control. And I think we forget that as people who sew. We're like, oh, what is this? What does the fabric want to do? Like, no. We're in charge. We're the ones that get to decide what the fabric's going to do. And the way we do that is we use our tools. We use our pins. We use our stiletto. We adjust our machines to make it work. And so that's why we make tip sheets. Honestly, it's because we've done all this experimenting. And Audrey says she watches Teresa Coates on the YouTube all the time. Teresa's done so much experimenting. She's taught us all so much. And but that's how we want to share that information. We don't want you to be in the dark about how to accomplish these things, because if we can do it, y'all can do it. And it's totally doable. So use the tools. And again, all these tools are ones that you would find at your local quilt shop too. Deborah says
the good news is that the Quilting Cuddle is even easier. So I think you'll find if you're stitching those together, even less slippage. So I think that you're once you get that Quilting Cuddle in your hands, I think you're gonna have less trouble with that in general.
Absolutely. Deborah says she wishes there were more places in Washington State that had a large variety. Deborah, go to your store and tell them to get in touch with Shannon Fabrics, because it is such a great, it's so great to work with. And we can't wait to see all of the things, because we know you guys have ideas, and we're eager to learn from you what you find enjoyable about it and how you want to work with it, because we have ambassadors all over the country, which is super fun. But we know that we have not exhausted all of the possibilities. We've made itty bitty things with it. We've made great big things out of the little pieces that we've had access to. But there's so much that Quilting Cuddle is going to surprise us all with. So we can't wait to see all those things.
Definitely.
We've talked for a long time, Ajaire.
I know, it's been almost an hour. We thought, this will just be about a half an hour. It's all been said, but like it gets exciting, right? And you guys are asking questions, and there's so much to tell you guys about all this fabric. Anything else that we didn't get to? I'm just kind of looking at some of my notes because I think we almost hit everything. Oh, AccuQuilt. We figured out the AccuQuilt. We can do 2 layers at a time. We cut from the backs, right? So we're doing face to face, put right sides together, and you can get 2 layers, which is very exciting. But the AccuQuilt dies work great with the Quilting Cuddle.
Yeah, they do. And if you're new to quilting, having a tool like an AccuQuilt makes it so that you don't have to worry about the rotary cutter and the lines. It really just simplifies the process. It does work fun. And applique. So applique shapes with the AccuQuilt. Awesome. Did we say machine embroidery? Like, because it does fantastic for machine embroidery. Like,
how do we mention machine embroidery?
Well, we showed Dawn's Sydney bag, and
we did show that, but I mean, there's machine embroidery, and I can't believe you mentioned how awesome it is.
It is. I've done some big monograms with it. I've done tiny monograms with it. Because it's thinner, it's easier to get those precision applique things for machine embroidery. And gosh, I even made a lanyard with it. I should have been wearing that. But the strap of a lanyard, like a purse strap, it's so good. And so like if you're texture sensitive, and a cuddle lanyard would be fine, but a Quilting Cuddle lanyard is not as bulky. So you're not wearing a scarf while you're just needing a hook around your neck. So Yeah, it's just I see people saying that they're anxious for it to be in stores, but I guess we're going to keep talking about Quilting Cuddle. Not right now. We'll do it again.
No.
But we have some things to give away. So do we want to do that?
Yes,
That's
let's do the
super.
giveaways. Definitely. So we're doing the Quilting Cuddle Fat Quarter Pack, which is quite a bit of fabric, you guys. It's very exciting. And again, as you've seen, it's not in stores yet. So you guys are getting kind of an exclusive. I'm super excited for let's see, who is it? So Tiffany Lynn, Diane Ide, Cheryl Walker Wester, Marie Greeler, and Jacinta Myers. Thank you for asking questions, sharing both yesterday and today, sharing the lives. We're really excited about these cuddle conversations and we want to keep it going. So join us in the I Love Cuddle group. If you're not over there, it's I Love Cuddle Fabric on Facebook. And everybody's super generous over there. All the ambassadors are over there too. So if you ever have a question, not sure about any kind of the cuddle, any of our cuddles, go ask it over there. Share your projects. When you get your Fat Quarter bundle, you winners, post in there. Show us. We want to see. We're so excited about it. A lot of the ambassadors haven't even gotten a Fat Quarter bundle. So it's very, very exciting. Definitely when you get it.
It is super exciting. So stay tuned because we've got Cuddle Conversations. We've got our product preview that Julie and Diana or Julie and Annette do once a month, showing us all the new prints. And they've been showing us Quilting Cuddle just to kind of get us all ramped up. And then we've got our Sew Together lives too. So there's lots of opportunities for you to learn about sewing with Cuddle, whether you're using Quilting Cuddle, C3, Luxe Cuddle, or the Dreamy Fur. We're covering it all. So stay tuned. Join us on the I Love Cuddle group. Ask your quilt shop if they're going to be getting the new Quilting Cuddle. And if they don't know about it, tell them where they can learn about it. So we're happy to share the love. As soon as it starts hitting stores, get ready because we've got some cool classes that you can have in your store with Quilting Cuddle. So we can't wait to bring those to you, whether you want to serge it or you want to sew it. We've got you covered.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next month. Super excited for our topic next month. I think, do we pick one, Sheila? Are we doing Cloud Cuddle or what are we doing?
We can do Cloud Cuddle. We can talk about
we're thinking about talking about Cloud Cuddle, which is, we didn't even mention Cloud Cuddle tonight or today. It's afternoon here. But if you guys have something you're dying for us to do for one of these cuddle conversations, put a comment out in the I Love Cuddle Facebook group or put a comment on this post. And if we don't do it next month, we'll get to it soon.
Yeah, we will. We love talking about cuddle. Can't quit.
Exactly. All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
We'll see you later. Happy sewing.